How is it going? Thank you for tuning in this video. In this video, I'll be recapping my time attending 3 different anime conventions over the summer of 2023, Anime Population, ComicVerse, as well as SacAnime Summer 2023. Now, I will strictly be recapping my time only at these conventions. Unfortunately, I did not film anything at the conventions. There were 2 of them I attended that I did want to film footage for to try and make it a vlog style type video as well, but to be perfectly honest, I just flat out forgot to do it. Out of excitement and the fact that I just don't vlog a whole bunch, it just didn't really cross my mind by the time I got there, so that's why I didn't have any footage to show you guys, unfortunately. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed my recap, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. And as soon as we got to Anime Population, I decided to go ahead and meet the 2 voice actors, which I was there to meet. Of course, one of them being Stephanie Nadolny, being the voice of Kid Goku in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball GT, as well as Kid Gohan in Dragon Ball Z, and as well as meeting Elise Baughman, who does the voice of Pan in Dragon Ball Z Kai, as well as Dragon Ball GT. Now, the first of the 2 I met was Stephanie Nadolny. Went straight to her table, and she was very friendly, very welcoming. She was very kind to talk to. She loved my shirt because I had a picture of Kid Goku from GT on it, of course, so she enjoyed that. But overall, she was a very friendly person. I got my pop out to sign for her and gave it to her to get signed, and I also told her that I wanted another print signed, so I got those 2. Unfortunately, I did have a specific print I want to get signed by her that I've seen her have at her table at previous conventions, so I was hoping she would have had it here, but unfortunately she didn't. I'm not sure if she just didn't bring those prints or if she sold out of them already or what, but the print was a picture of Super Saiyan 2 Gohan as well as Kid Goku, image of those 2 and the 1, so that's the print I want to get signed because I had both the characters that she voiced, but unfortunately, like I said, she didn't have those, so I wasn't able to get that print. Now, jumping into things, I did get signed by her. Of course, the first thing I did get signed was my pop, which is the Super Saiyan Gohan with noodles. She actually kind of marked out for this pop. I think she said that this is her favorite one to get signed because she just finds it so cute. But yeah, it is Gohan with noodles. Of course, she signed it, Stephanie Nadolny Gohan. This is the pop I chose to get signed because I actually had a friend a couple years ago go to a con, she was signing and get some pop signed by me. There's actually, you can see him behind me at the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. You have Kid Goku right there, so that is the reason why I got this Gohan with noodles signed instead of like a Kid Goku or a Kid Gohan instead. One of my things I like getting pops is the characters in all their forms signed, right? So right now I have the Kid Goku signed, I do have a Kid Gohan signed, I have obviously Super Saiyan Gohan, and I have Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. So essentially I have all the characters and forms signed by her now. And then the print I decided to get signed by her was none other than this awesome Goku print, of course, with him on Nimbus. Of course, she signed it to Zach, Stephanie Nadolny Goku. It's kind of funny when she was personalizing it, she had to make sure it was a H like twice because I guess she had someone earlier in the day named Zach but so with the K, so she had to make like triple sure with me it was ZACH, right? So there is the picture. Like I said, great print, not the original print I wanted, but this was pretty much my backup print I wanted to get. And those were the 2 things I got signed by Stephanie Nadolny, and of course afterwards asked her for a picture, in which we were able to do. And then it was kind of funny, after the picture she was kind of marking out because in the back of my phone the pop socket I have is a pop socket of the 4-star Dragon Ball, so she was kind of marking out over it, saying, oh, I've never seen that, that's awesome. She was marking out to the point where she actually had to tell Elise Baughman because their tables are next to each other. She's like, look at this, look at the back of his phone, like look at that pop socket he has, it's pretty cool. So yeah, overall, like I said, Stephanie Nadolny, very, very nice. Very happy to have met her. Honestly, she is the voice responsible of getting me into Dragon Ball. That was the voice, you know, 5-year-old me randomly came across one day, you know, seeing a boy with a tail on TV, you know, getting into Dragon Ball. So I was very happy to finally met her. You know, that was the voice I first heard. And it was funny because her normal voice is essentially almost on par with, you know, the Kid Goku voice. So the entire time we're talking, I'm just hearing Kid Goku and little bits of, you know, Gohan voice as well. And I kind of had like that montage in my head of like, you know, in the Dragon Ball Z intro during the Buu saga where, you know, Gohan's Great Saiyaman, the glasses, and he kind of has all the flashes of Gohan over the years go through them. That's kind of what I felt in my head when we were talking, you know, just hearing the voice, just images of Kid Goku and Gohan going through my head the entire time. So yeah, very happy that I got the opportunity to meet Stephanie Nadolny. And funny little story, so I kind of walked off a little bit because I want to get all my stuff in the bag. I was trying to put the print and the pop back in my bag that I had, and as I was doing that, I just heard, I'm gonna go ahead and chase you down real quick, and I'm like, huh, what? And it's Elise Baughman. She's coming to chase me down to tell my girlfriend and I to pretty much, you know, if they haven't heard of her, to check out her YouTube channel because she does anime adventures, which here's a card right here. YouTube is Anime Adventures, so if anyone's interested in checking her out on there, feel free to do so. so. So she was pretty much talking about that, and then we got into talking a little bit back and forth. So for a few minutes, we kind of just stood like in the middle of the con, just having a small little conversation. And it's kind of funny in my mind because we're kind of talking as if, all right, well, see you later, you know, bye, whatever. And then in my head, I'm like, well, if you would have waited a few minutes, I was planning on going to your table anyway. So as she's walking off, we're kind of like following behind her because I was planning on, you know, meeting her after anyway. So ended up meeting Elise Baughman after that. And back at her table, I told her, you know what, I wanted this print signed because it, you know, it was probably the best looking print there. And she was actually telling me the story behind the print was that I believe her name is SS4 Goshen. I know she's done YouTube videos. I've seen her pop up before when I've looked up like Dragon Ball merch related videos, and I know she's on Instagram, stuff like that. So I know she's done a lot of like the Dragon Ball fan cons as well. I've been like a big part of them. So I am very familiar with the name, but she was telling me how she actually drew this print and gave it to her, and she kind of pretty much, you know, copied it and made prints out of it. So I thought that was a really cool backstory around the print, and the print actually looks amazing. And of course it is this print of Pan right here. Of course you have Pan from the end of Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and we also have Pan when she was mistaken as the Queen Bee in the early episodes of Dragon Ball GT. I do really like this print. I think it looks fantastic. As you see right there, Elise signed it to Zach, and then her signature Pan. So yeah, she was very, very friendly, nice to talk to. Same thing with her. I was talking about Stephanie Nadolny, where her normal voice is pretty much the same voice as Pan's. So every time, the entire time she's talking, I'm just thinking of Pan, you know, from GT in my mind. So yeah, Elise Baughman, overall, very, very kind woman as well. Both of them are very nice and humble. It was a great pleasure meeting both of them. They were both very nice, very friendly, very welcoming, you know, right from the get-go. And just a great experience meeting both of them. Very happy to have met, you know, the voice that was responsible for me getting into Dragon Ball, you know, 22 years ago. And it was, yeah, just a great experience, and I had a great time meeting both of them. Right after we met Elise, we went ahead and called it a day and went home because, to be perfectly honest, that con, and I say con very loosely and nicely as possible, because it was nothing nice at all. Now, I'm not trying to shit on the people behind it or, you know, crap on them completely, because I do believe this is only their, you know, like third time ever running an event, so I'm not gonna be hateful on them for that expense. But it was, yeah, here's the layout of the place. So you get there, there's a few vendors right kind of in the opening area, and then you enter into a small room. Like, I'm talking like this room maybe is like, I don't know, a family room level, like maybe a little bit bigger, not a very large room by any means. And that's pretty much where everyone's at. And then there's a little back way to the back where there's a few more booths. Like, it's literally just a room and outside in the back. That's all it is. It was very, very small, to the point where, like, I was even surprised. Like, I knew it would be a small thing, but it was even smaller than I somehow expected. It was a ghost town when we got there. The convention, we went there at 3:30 on Saturday. It started at 12. It goes to 9 on Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, like I said, we got there about 3.5 hours into the first day, and it was essentially a ghost town. There's like nobody there. It felt awkward at times walking around because you're like the only people there, and everyone's kind of just chilling, not really, you know, doing anything. There's nothing to do. So it was a very very weird experience. But, like, you know, I was only there to meet those two. That was the only reason why I went to the con, and you know, it was worth it to me. So the trip was worth it. That's why I didn't have any footage, because honestly, I wanted to film like a vlog style for this. I wanted to go there, you know, film around, and, you know, get clips and stuff like that. But for some reason, the day of, I was kind of like, yeah, not feeling it. And I'm kind of glad I wasn't feeling it, because there's just absolutely nothing to film anyways. So even though the con itself was pretty much, you know, not worth the time, you know, I only went there to meet Stephanie Nadolny and Elise Baughman anyway. So for me, it was successful, even though the con itself, there was nothing else to do. Now, jumping over to my time at ComicVerse Con DBZ Takeover, it was a one-day event. I'm going to go ahead and go over the guests I met, as well as things that got signed, and then give you guys my overall thoughts on the event itself. Now, going to this con, I only had 2 guests in mind that I wanted to meet. The first guest I met was honestly the main reason that I went to this con, and that is to meet the voice of Goten and Videl herself, Kara Edwards. I was very excited to meet her, mainly because her appearances are very rare. She was actually the first guest, I think, they announced for this event. I immediately wanted to go to it. Like I said, she's rare to meet. She doesn't do appearances very often, and I definitely wanted to make sure I had the opportunity to meet her. Once I hopped in her line, I had to wait a while because she by far had the longest line out of everybody there. Once I got to that con, it seemed like almost everyone that went to the con wanted to meet her at one point, so she definitely had a pretty good line, to the point where she actually had to apologize because she was taking her time with each person, which I really appreciate. It goes to show you that, you know, they appreciate their fans, and, you know, they're willing to sit there and take the time to actually interact with you, not just, all right, give me your money, here's your signature, you know, go. They actually want to sit there, interact, and get to know you a little bit, and pretty much let you know that they're appreciative of you appreciating their work. So I always enjoy guests that are willing to sit there and take their time with each guest, and that's definitely what she did. And that's why it kind of took a while for people to get going, because she was just kind of interacting and hanging out with everybody she met. But after a little while, it was finally my turn to meet her, and I put my bag down that I had because I had all my Pops to sign in, and I said, I had a lot for you to sign. And she goes, well, the record I have so far of Pops is getting 9 Pops signed, so that was a record to beat. And I said, you know what? I unfortunately don't have 9 Pops, but I got close to it. I had 6 Pops for her to sign. And she said, you know what? Nothing wrong with having, you know, the second amount of most Pops signed. So I had that going. So I put all my Pops out on the table. And the one thing I really liked about what she did was she kind of looked at them and she kind of color coordinated each Pop with a pen. Instead of just using the same pen, saying the same ones and whatever, she kind of looked at one and, you know, said, okay, this color looks best on this color looks best on this. There was at one point where she asked me if I wanted to use the same color on 2 of them, because the color would have, you know, looked nicely on both of them, but I just stuck with the original one she picked out, because in a way, I kind of wanted each Pop to be signed differently too, or a different color, I should say, so that way they each kind of stand out on their own differently as well. So that was kind of the main reason why I stuck to the original color, even though I do think the color she had in mind probably would look better on that Pop, but like I said, I just wanted to have different colors on the Pops. So the first Pop I got signed by her, of course, is Goten, the original Goten right here, him in his regular suit. As you can see right there, she personalized each one to me. Well, she asked, so that's another thing. She was very nice about what you want on the autograph. She asked if you want to personalize, if there's any specific quotes you wanted. She was very accommodative to anything you pretty much wanted. And I just said that I want my name on them just because I like things more personal to me. And it's actually kind of funny for this one. I actually did kind of want to quote on this specific one. Well, it's more so what my girlfriend Audrey, her favorite quote from Goten is. It's when he finds a bug in Dragon Ball Z Kai, and he shows Gohan and goes, "It's a bug! It's a bug! Cool, huh?" That was actually the quote I did want on it, but I didn't speak up in time by the time she was already starting it, so I was kind of like, oh well, it is what it is. But my girlfriend did point out, because she actually does have this Pop as well, because Goten is her favorite character. She did point out that, you know what, if we do ever get the opportunity to meet her again, she can get her signed and that put on her Pop. So that is an idea to be saved for the future. But yeah, I got it signed to Zach, I'm a Birdie, Goten. Her signature, I actually really like her signature. Her signature is very, very nice if you ask me. But yeah, she actually was telling me that her husband's name is Zach as well. So yeah, great conversation. Carrie Edwards, very, very nice person. I can't say enough nice things about her. She probably is one of, if not the nicest person I've met in terms of all the voice actors I've met over the last couple of years. She was just very, very friendly, very, very humble. So yeah, definitely, if you get the opportunity to meet Carrie Edwards, definitely go out of your way to do so. The second Pop I got signed right here, of course, is Goten in Super Saiyan. As you guys can see, again, personalized, and it says, Gohan, I want to be like you. Of course, that was the episode where, you know, Gohan was training, going Super Saiyan, then, you know, Goten surprised him going Super Saiyan, obviously. So this actually was a Pop where she recommended using a different color as well, but since she, you know, had the yellow with it, I just, again, wanted a different color, so it still looks great on it. You know, you can tell everything on it says perfectly fine. And of course, you can't meet Carrie Edwards and not get a Videl sign, and this, of course, is the Videl Pop. Of course, Zach signed Gohan, I'm flying. Of course, that was the episode which Videl learns to fly, which she told me that was, or told us, me and my girlfriend, that was her favorite episode in Dragon Ball Z, was the episode where Videl learns to fly, so yeah, gotta get Videl signed. And of course, to go with Videl, I got Great Saiyaman 2 signed. I know it says say Great Saiya Girl, but I don't think she was ever referred to that. She always said Great Saiyaman 2, unless she was referred to that in maybe the Fusion Reborn movie that I don't remember for some reason. But yeah, I don't know. Funko they'll always put the correct name, or they'll put a different name. Like, they're very weird on some of the names. Like, I know with like the Corn Pop, they put they put Karen the appropriate name. But then, like, with Super Saiyan Blue, they'll always put Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan instead of just Super Saiyan Blue. So, I don't know. Funko's always weird what the names sometimes they put for the boxes. But yeah, here is Great Saiyaman 2. Of course, Zach, Defender of Justice, Videl. This actually was the color she actually recommended using on the Super Saiyan Goten Pop as well. And that would have looked really, really nice with it, I think. But again, like I said, I just want different colors. But yeah, definitely had to get this. And, not, you know, especially considering, you see right there, I got Great Saiyaman signed. So definitely had to get Great Saiyaman 2 to get signed to go along with them. And the last two things I got signed, I'm showing them both together because they pretty much go hand in hand. It is the 2-pack of Goten in Trunks as well as Gotenks right here. As you guys can see, she signed the Goten half of the Fusion 2-pack, putting my name, signing her signature as well as Goten and putting Fusion ... And then on the Gotenks, she did the exact same thing. Just put her signature, put my name on it, and then put Fusion ... And of course, the reasoning behind it, obviously, she said that, you know, the idea is to either get Laura Bailey, who did Trunks in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Z Kai, or Alexis Tipton, who did Trunks in Dragon Ball Z Super, or Dragon Ball Super, not Dragon Ball Z Super. The idea is to get them to sign the other half of it and obviously to complete the fusion part and put Ha as well as their signature. Now the question is, now I'm kind of OCD, so I'm like, now what if I meet one of them, but then I get the opportunity to meet the other one, but I already got these signed by both of them. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to have to choose getting this signed by one of the Trunks and not the other one. But then I'm like, you know what? If the opportunity ever presents itself where I do meet both Trunks, I can obviously have one of them sign the front of it. And if I really wanted to, I can have the other one sign the side of it. So that way I have both, you know, voice actors of Kid Trunks on it instead of just one of them, or just choosing one or the other. Or if I really wanted to, I can get one of them to sign one of them and get one of them to sign the other one. I don't know. I'm very, very, very OCD about that, and that'd probably drive me crazy. So point is, eventually, hopefully, I will get Laura Bailey or Alexis Tipton to sign this to at least complete it, the Trunks' end. So, yeah. And those were all the items I got signed by Kara Edwards. Throughout the entire time, we were just talking, and actually the voice actor of Black Panther in the animated series, his table was right next to Kara Edwards, and at one point she was actually marking out because he was talking to somebody, and I guess the voice was just so much like the character, she was just kind of mind-blown to how great his voice was. At one point she was marking out to me and Audrey over him at his booth, so that was kind of funny. But yeah, overall, like I said, Kara Edwards, very, very nice and humble, very, very friendly. Like I said, she took a good amount of time with it. Like, I was probably at her table for like 5 minutes talking to her while she was signing my things. She made sure everything looked good. She even the pictures, you know, I got a picture with her, and she made sure that I went over the pictures, looked at them first before I went away, just to make sure I was satisfied with them, and didn't walk away with like bad pictures. So yeah, Kara Edwards, very, very nice and very friendly. At one point I was telling her how Audrey's favorite character is Goten. She was pretty much telling us that, you know, it was challenging to do the voice later on with Kai and Super, because, you know, obviously she's gotten older and, you know, her voice just can't hold well. She had to explain that to us. But like I said, nothing but good things to say about Kara Edwards. One of the nicest persons I've met at a signing. Not to say that anyone else has been nice, but I'd say she was by far the friendliest person probably I've met. And after I got done meeting Kara Edwards, I went over to another line because I had another person I wanted to meet, and that, of course, was Dameon Clarke, the voice of Cell. Now, I hadn't met Dameon Clarke actually last year at Stockton Con. Met him when I was going to meet him and Eric Vale, but Eric Vale wasn't there the day I was there because he got sick the day before, so he couldn't make the second day of the convention. Of course, that was the day I went, but, you know, obviously he's good now, so that's all that matters. But yeah, I was able to meet Dameon Clarke then, and I got my Cell, you can see one of them right there, the first form Cell, as well as the perfect form Cell signed by him at the convention. And 2 months later after that, they came out with another Cell pop. So as soon as I saw he was signed at this event as well, I decided, you know what, I might as well complete my Cell set. That's what I did. Went up to Dameon. He was very, very friendly as well. He immediately shook my hand, was very, you know, friendly to me, wanted to know my name, even my girlfriend. He was saying hi to her and everything. So very, very friendly, which he was the first time I met him, but for some reason, like just this time around, he just seemed like he was in a really good mood at this convention. Maybe he was just having a great day, but met him, just told I want to get one signature, and that's what he was able to do. Of course, it is the Cell second form signed right there. He didn't put a quote on the side this time around like he did the first time, which to be fair though, when I was purchasing this, I was asked if I wanted a quote, but I do think he probably charges more for the quote, because when I said no, the guy that was handling money just gave me the flat charge. Pretty sure at this point now he charges extra for quotes, but I know that Cell, the first form Cell, as well as the perfect Cell, has quotes on the side of it. But yeah, just a straight signature on the perfect Cell, or the second form Cell right there. Nothing more to it, nothing fancy to it. Like I said, just mainly wanted to get this one signed because I wanted to complete my Cell set being signed. But yeah, just got that signed and then told him I appreciate it and thanked him and have a great day and walked away. So yeah, it was a very quick interaction with Dameon Clarke. Wasn't much to it, but I want to get my Cell set completed. And that was everything I had signed by the guests I met at ComicVerse. There were more people there, but just no one I was really interested in meeting. I did contemplate on meeting Peter Calamus, who was a voice of Goku on the Ocean dub version, as well as the voice of Rolf from Ed, Edd n Eddy. I did contemplating meeting him just as a joke to get the Rolf 8x10 sign, because he did have those. But you know what, I kind of figured if I didn't honestly really want to do it first and foremost, and I kind of figured, you know what, if I wanted to get like a Rolf 8x10 sign as a joke, I can meet him at a convention down the line. I got more stuff coming up in the future that I'm kind of saving money for, so I was like, you know what, I'm not going to do it. Like I said, if he's maybe at a future convention I'm at, then maybe, but yeah, it was nice seeing him though. It was cool seeing Peter Klamis there. But yeah, that was everything. Like I said, I got signed, and yeah, all in all, I will say the convention itself was a great time. You know, I don't want to compare the two really, because they are different things. This was the second event I believe ComicVerse had, which is, you know, again, if like earlier, you know, to the Population Anime, I was talking about them, how it wasn't really a great time, how it was kind of poorly put together, but I know it was one of their first, you know, couple events. ComicVerse is on the same boat as them. I think this, like I said, their second event they might have done, and it was a million times better. Now, like I said, I'm not trying to compare, but it's just to see the contrast differences of quality between them was just a night and day difference. So I was very, very impressed at the convention, because again, going back to how Population Anime was, my expectations for this event honestly wasn't all that high, but seeing how it turned out, I thought it was great. It had the room wasn't humongous, but it was a nice hall, I should say, where you can move around and see everything. And so it was very packed too. It was honestly, it was a legit con. I'll say that. It was a legit con. It didn't seem like some, you know, con name thrown onto it where it's just, you know, a swap meet. It was a legit con. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of vendors, great tables. So I'll give it to them. ComicVerse was definitely a great time. It was, like I said, it was very much different from Population Anime, but it was still a tremendous time. I had a really good time. I didn't get anything there just because I didn't see anything that piqued my interest. And I will say one thing that kind of sucked, and this is like kind of my thing with most cons anyways, even though there's room for stuff, obviously they try to jam pack as much in as possible for vendors, so everything's kind of crammed together. So when you're looking at tables, you can't really stop, because if you stop, you pretty much stop traffic of everyone walking around, because everything's so close together that if you stop, you're just in the way of everyone. So it is constantly moving, so that does make it harder to see things when you're constantly moving. But like I said, there wasn't really anything anyways that caught my eye in terms of tables. I mean, everything was kind of pretty much just like figures, and there were a few tables that were selling like artistic stuff, but besides that, you know, those wasn't really anything I was interested in terms of, you know, the vendors. But like I said, in terms of the way it was produced, I thought it was great. Even going into it, I thought it was very smoothly. So I will say the people behind ComicVerse did a great job. They announced the next event is going to be in February. Depending on what kind of guests they have that event, I may or may not go to it. Honestly, when it comes to these cons, it just comes down to who they have at these events. I know people go to them just to go to them. You know, guests aren't even a factor for some people. But to me, that's my selling point, is meeting these people that are there. So, like I said, I thought ComicVerse did a great job. Depending on who might be at their next event, might be going there in February. But yeah, in terms of this event, the DBZ TakeOver, I thought it was a great event. And looking forward to my next event, which is SacAnime, and I can't wait for that. And now for the main event, my time at SacAnime Summer 2023, so let's get right into it. And here is my wristband from the event. Audrey and I only attended Sunday this year. Typically I get the weekend pass, but I just didn't buy them early enough on time when they were the cheapest. And as the con gets closer, they progressively go up in price. And every year, the tickets have gone up even more in price. So I just didn't feel compelled to buy a weekend pass. I was fine with buying just a one-day pass. And to be perfectly honest, one day is all I really need, unless there's, you know, I wasn't able to meet all the guests I wanted to meet in one day, or if maybe there's guests on certain days. One day is typically just fine for me. There were a lot of great names at the con this year. You know, you had a lot of One Piece voice actors from the English dub. You had Tom Kenny, of course, who does the voice of SpongeBob. A lot of great names in this lineup. But for me personally, there were only two names I was truly interested in meeting. So let's go ahead and go over the two I met. So the first line we hopped into, and honestly, we got to the con pretty much right when it opened. We got there probably like 10:15. The con opened at 10. So it was very early on, and I wasn't expecting to meet anyone right away, because at the times that were scheduled, neither of the two were signing until 11 o'clock at the earliest. So I wasn't expecting, you know, to meet anyone right from the get-go. But as we were walking around, seeing everyone, just kind of getting a look at the floor real quick to see, you know, all the different vendors and see, you know, the booths and whatnot already, we noticed that one of the people I wanted to meet were already signing. So I was like, you know what, why not? You know, his line wasn't very long because it was very early, you know, and I figured I might as well get to him before he has a massive line. I got to wait for a little bit while to meet him. So I said, screw it, and immediately jumped into Sonny Strait's line. Of course, he is the English dub voice actor of Krillin and Dragon Ball. He has a lot of other voices as well, like Usopp in One Piece. He was one of the big names from One Piece that signed at the con. So I was very excited to meet Sonny Strait. We didn't have to wait very long. There was only probably about 10 people or so in line in front of me once we got in there. It wasn't a very long wait, maybe 10, 15 minutes because he was, you know, taking his time a little bit with each person, which I always appreciate, you know, when the people take time with their guests. You know, to me, it shows that they want to interact with their fans, and it shows me that they care. So after that wait, it was finally my turn to go up there. I went up there, and of course, I gave the person who handles his money, I told them exactly what I wanted. I wanted the pop I brought signed, as well as one of the prints he was signed, because if you don't know, Sonny Strait is an artist. He does draw a lot of stuff, and he does sell his own personal prints that he draws at his table. So there was one that I definitely had my eye on that I wanted to get, that I've seen him have at previous cons, so I definitely want to make sure to grab it, and I was able to. So I got 2 signatures as well as a photo with them, gave the money to pay for it, and then waited to make my turn to meet Sonny. And finally, when it was my turn to go up to him, right away he made sure to compliment me on my shirt, because the shirt I was wearing when I met him, you'll see in the photo, but I might as well show it. It was this taco shirt right here. Of course, if you do not know, Krillin wore this shirt in Dragon Ball Super for whatever reason. I still don't know this day, but I thought it was an iconic moment for Krillin wearing this. And I wore this shirt just for him. I even told him that, you know, he was like, oh, awesome shirt, love. And I told him, I said, you know what, I wore it just for you. And right after that, he busts his phone out and he records, which I'm assuming is a TikTok, because I've seen him post it, you know, several all the time, about him at conventions, meeting fans, and, you know, showing off people's fits and whatnot. So I pretty much figured right away that's what he was doing, and that's what he did. You know, he's filming, say, I'm here at SacAnime. You know, then he pointed to me saying that, you know, hey, he wore this awesome shirt just for me. And I was like, yep, wore it just for you. As this recording, I haven't seen him post it yet, so I don't know how it turned out. If it's posted before this video is uploaded, I'll edit it in there, but if it's not, then I don't know, go to his TikTok, I guess, or his Instagram. He pretty much posts it everywhere, Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it nowadays. But yeah, he talked to me, commented on my shirt, was real appreciative of that. Preceding that, he went ahead and signed the first item I asked him to sign, which of course was this Krillin Funko Pop with him doing the Destructo Disc. As you can see right there, I signed it right in the front, Sonny Strait. And then on the side, I really like that he does this, because he does this pretty much for every pop I've seen him sign. He'll always draw something on the side of it, and I love it. To me, if I meet anybody and I have a pop, if you want to cover the entire front and the side, go for it. The more the merrier for me. If you want to cover the entire thing where you can barely see the toy, that's fine with me, to be perfectly honest. So I thought it was awesome. Look at that drawing right there of Krillin doing like a face. I just thought it was excellent. Really enjoyed his drawing of that. So that's the signature I got. I only got this one Krillin Pop sign. I know there's another Krillin Pop with him just pretty much standing there normally, so I didn't really feel compelled to get it, considering that, you know, he's just in a normal stance. There's nothing really compelling about this pop. But this one, he's doing Destructo Disc, and it's pretty badass. So definitely want to get this. And the print of his that I got and got signed by him is none other than Krillin on Bardock. Absolutely love it with them doing arm wrestling with Krillin, kind of messing with Bardock. As you can see right there, personalized it to Zach, did another drawing of Krillin, and then signed it. As he was drawing Krillin, I actually told him that, you know, his drawings were absolutely amazing, and he was very appreciative of that, and he even called me brother. He's like, thank you, brother. And I really just love this print. I even told him, you know, the characters look pretty spot on. I mean, I know Bardock here isn't, you know, like the Bardock in the anime and whatnot, but Krillin looks pretty spot on if you ask me. And he did have a bunch of other drawings. There was another one that I was interested in where it was Krillin and Android 18, but I just was unsure if I was ever gonna meet the voice actress of Android 18. I know the one who did her in Dragon Ball Z Kai. She's at SacAnime almost every year, you know, whether it's winter, summer, or spring one. She's usually there. But if I was gonna get that one, you know, double signed by Sonny and her, I'd want to be the original voice actress, which she does cons, but just not very often anymore. So that's why I figured I'd sell for this one, because, you know, he did both characters. So just a phenomenal artist Sonny is, and I was very happy to have gotten this from him. So after he's done signing all my items, got a picture with him. Of course, he told me, let's throw up the Kamehameha. I was like, all right, let's do it. So we're both doing the Kamehameha on a picture. And yeah, it was just very great meeting Sonny Strait. Very, very awesome guy. Very, very laid back and very, very nice. Very happy to have met him. I know I said very probably like 20 times in a span of 10 seconds there. I apologize for that. But yeah, I was just very thrilled to meet Sonny Strait. And a quick little story here, because after that, we actually decided to leave the con for a little bit to go get something to drink, because we actually were planning on stopping to get some coffee beforehand, but we just figured that we'd, you know, go in the con, check it out before we got that. And obviously I wasn't expecting Sonny to be signing already, or anyone to be signing that I was going to meet. So we did that first, and then we left to go get something to drink. We went to one of our favorite coffee places that are located downtown, that we don't really go to often, because we don't go to downtown very often. And funny thing, we got drinks, and when we were going to pay for it, they just all of a sudden were like, you guys are fine, just take them and go. We're like, are you sure you just want us to take them? Like, yeah, you guys take them. So we got free coffee, and it was excellent. So yeah, just thought I'd include a little story. I'm pretty sure they were having problems with the register, because even the people before us, the guy was apologizing because the register wasn't working. So I don't know what was going on. Maybe they like my taco shirt. I don't know what happened, but we got free coffee. It was excellent, and I just thought I'd include that little story since that technically happened during this con. So after we got our free coffee, we proceeded back to the con because, you know, as long as you have a wristband, you can pretty much go in and out as many times as you want. We went back and we decided to go meet the other voice actor that I was able to meet because, you know, he was signing at that time. It was probably a little after 11 by the time we went there and came back. So we figured go to his line. He's signing right now. And of course, that voice actor is none other than Ian Sinclair, the voice of Whis in Dragon Ball, as well as Brook in One Piece, another one of the big names that are part of the One Piece that were there that weekend. I was very excited to meet him. I got in his line. He had a good amount of people. I want to say probably 20 to 25 people already in his line by the time I got there. So, and it took a little while to get up there because once again, he was taking his time with everybody, which I will always appreciate. I know I've probably mentioned that so many times with everyone I've mentioned that I appreciate them, you know, taking time with people, but I really am appreciative of that. Like I said, it really does show to me that they care. So I'll always praise them for taking their time with people and not rushing to get through to them. But after a little while, it was finally my turn to go up there. Of course, went to his handler, told him I wanted my 2 pop sign as well as a picture with him. No problem, paid the man, and then of course it was my turn to meet Ian Sinclair, and I will say this, Ian Sinclair is the fucking man. Now I know how I said Kara Edwards was probably the nicest person I've met so far in terms of just being very friendly and interactive. Ian Sinclair topped her. He was so friendly and so incredibly nice. I could have talked to him for hours. Now I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but me, I'm honestly a very introverted person. I get anxious and nervous, especially when I'm excited, you know? So usually at these cons, that's why I'm not very talkative, just because I'm just like, I don't know what to say. I kind of, like I said, I get nervous and anxious about it. So I don't really say a whole bunch, but Ian Sinclair, I will say this, made me feel so incredibly comfortable and welcoming to talk to him. Like I said, it felt like I was talking to a friend of mine. I felt like I could talk to him for hours. It was honestly an incredible experience. So right when I went up to him, he immediately commented on my shirt as well, saying, "Krillin, right?" I'm like, "Yep." And he even turned to the side to kind of get Sonny's attention because Sonny's table was right next to his. But he was like, "You already met him, huh?" I'm like, yeah, I met him first before I came to this line. And he's like, "Yeah, I don't need to get his attention, I guess." So yeah, that was the first thing he commented on. Then immediately he just started jumping into conversation with me. He was like, "So what's your favorite Dragon Ball arc?" And I told him, you know what? It took me a minute because honestly, I will say this. My favorite arc does change a lot. You know, for the longest time, and it is my go-to still, and this is the answer I did tell him, it's the Majin Buu stuff. I just love all the different stuff that was introduced. Fusion, you know, the Bataras, they got, you know, the gods really involved, you know, with the Supreme Kais and stuff like that. Super Saiyan 3, which was my favorite Super Saiyan transformation for the longest time, well, until I saw Super Saiyan 4. But even as a kid, I was always going back and forth between Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan 4 in terms of what was my favorite. The introduction of Goten and, you know, him hanging out with Trunks, seeing them go Super Saiyan, you know, seeing kids as Super Saiyan for the first time as well. I just feel like there was so much introduced in the Buu saga, and there was so much variety in it. That's why I think it's my go-to. Not saying that I think it's the best one that they've done, because I know there's a lot of people that don't like it and they criticize it for all the different stuff that happened to it. I just feel looking back in the series, that's just always the arc I had the most fun with watching. And to this day, I think it's just so much fun watching, and I always have a good time with it. So I told him, I explained that to him. He told me, yeah, the Buu one's a good arc, you know, it's great and whatnot, very, very enjoyable one. Then I proceeded to tell him how my favorite arc in Super was the Goku Black arc, because I just had a lot of fun with that. You know, Goku Black and Zamasu were just absolutely excellent in that arc. So I was telling him that was my favorite, and, you know, that got him talking about how excellent Zamasu was, and he's like, "You know who voiced him, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, James Marster." He's like, "Yep." "And you do know why he didn't want, you know, he didn't want people knowing it was him?" I was like, "Because he did, you know, Dragon Ball Evolution." He's like, "Yep." He felt so guilty and so bad for that, you know, he didn't want people knowing it's him, but he wanted to make up for it so bad. That's why he did Zamasu. He said that he came to, you know, to them, you know, and said that, you know what, hey, I'll do any role. I don't care what it is. Just let me do something to make up for this movie. And he did it completely free too. He said that he went there. He didn't charge anything to do it. He went to the booth and he would not leave until he thought what he did was perfect. He just wanted to make up for Dragon Ball Evolution. And I thought that was awesome for him to tell me that. I felt like, you know, that was kind of like on a personal level for him to be like, you know, this is why this happened. James felt this way. Like, I kind of felt like I was knowing some of the people, like James Marster is in a way as well on a personal level with, you know, how highly Ian was speaking of him. Which, speaking of James Marsters, and I did tell him this, James Marsters will be signing at Fan Expo in San Francisco in November. And if all plans go right, I do plan on going there to meet him. So I did bring that up to him as we were talking about it. So like, oh, how convenient we're talking about James Marsters. Actually, he's going to be at Fan Expo in San Francisco, and I plan on meeting him, you know, if all goes well. And he was like, oh, excellent, you know, he's amazing, and you know, you should really do it. I was like, yeah, I'm very excited to go do it, you know, to meet him. Just a great conversation with Ian Sinclair. I probably talked to him for like 5 minutes, man. I was there for a while, I'm not gonna lie, but it was just great. Me and him were just going back and forth off each other, just having a grand time, honestly. He even complimented Audrey on her eyeshadow that she had on, saying how great it was, and he was saying that, you know what, you know, once you learn makeup, you don't unlearn it. So that's why he was able to tell that she did a good job on it. So yeah, he was just an awesome person. And go ahead and show you guys the items I got signed. Of course, I got the 2 Whis Funko Pop signed. Here is the original Whis Pop. Of course, he signed his signature, and then on the side he has you know, Whis' signature right there that he puts, you know, on people that he trains. So, and following that Whis, we have Whis Eating Noodles right here, the Funimation exclusive that came out in 2021. Honestly, I was kind of debating if I need both these signs, but my OCD, they are different enough for me to get them both signed, so that's why I ended up getting both of them signed. I would have been okay with probably one, but like I said, to me it's like, oh, they're too different to not get both signed. But same ordeal, signature on the front, the sign on the side of it. So yeah, those were both the 2 pops I got signed by Ian Sinclair. And after our conversation and him signing the items that I brought, we took our photo, and then, you know, as we're taking our photo, he was complimenting me on my phone cover, you know, because it's Goku and Krillin on the back of it, and he was telling me like, oh dude, that's such an awesome phone case. I'm like, oh, thank you, man, I appreciate it. And one thing that I did not notice that I did till I looked at the picture, and it makes I just laugh looking at it because it's funny to me. Now, usually when someone's next to me, I'm used to it being Audrey. So like, I'll usually, you know, if I wrap my hand around her, it'll be around her waist, you know, like holding her, right? So when I took the picture with Ian Sinclair, I didn't realize I did it till I looked back at the picture, but I totally wrapped my hand around him as if I was holding him, as if I was like, he was Audrey to me. It's funny to me because I so did that out of just instinct, just, you know, just out of a normal reaction that I do all the time with her, and not realizing that it's not her. I'm taking a picture with, you know, full grown man. Looking at it, it's just funny to see my hand on his, like, you know, around his waist. I'm like, oh, I totally did not mean to do that. I just did that out of just instinct. I don't know. So that's just something funny I look back looking at that photo on. But yeah, I took the photo with him. Like I said, he was marking out about my phone case, and I told him thank you so much. It was great meeting him. And then, you know, thanked me for meeting him, and then that was it. Walked away, and yeah, that was it. Like I said, Ian Sinclair was absolutely fucking awesome. Probably my favorite person I've met in terms of just the experience. Like I said, I felt like he was my friend. Like I said, I could have chit-chatted with him for hours, it honestly felt like. So you'll not hear me utter a bad word about Ian Sinclair, nothing but good things. Him and Sonny Strait both were excellent. You know, Sonny Strait was just as awesome as a guy to meet. It was awesome. SacAnime Summer 2023. I thought it was a great con. I had a great weekend. I didn't buy anything, unfortunately. You know, a lot of the booths that are there are typically there every single year, and it's a lot of the same stuff. However, I will say there was something I did want to get. When we were walking around the first time, I did notice the booth that sold the Goku print I have right there. They actually had one of Vegeta. So I did want to go back to it to look at it just to see, because obviously there's a lot of small details in the Goku one, and I wanted to see if the details on the Vegeta one were the same or different. But unfortunately, I just forgot about it and never went back to the booth. So is what it is. I'm pretty sure I'll see him at a future SacAnime, because they did already announce that at SacAnime for winter 2024 in January, Chris Sabat, obviously Vegeta, he'll be there. I have met him. I met him actually last year at SacAnime, summer 2022. But you know what? There's so many Vegeta Pops signed. There's so many different characters, and there are Ginyu Force characters coming out, you know, hopefully by the end of the year, which he did do a few voices of the Ginyu Force. So there's always characters for him to sign. So if I did want to go meet him again, I'll have the opportunity. And they already did announce as well at SacCon in March, Sean Schemmel, Goku, will be there signing, and I'm pretty sure I'll be there to get some more Goku Pops honestly signed by him. So I already got some good stuff coming up. Like I said, you know, Fan Expo in November with James Marsters. Definitely wanted to do that. And then, you know, possibility of doing SacAnime in the winter, as well as SacComic Con to meet Christopher Sabat as well as Sean Schemmel again. And seeing who else is going to be there. I hope Sac Winter has other names on me, because I don't want to go there just for Chris Sabat. I want to meet, you know, other people I haven't met as well. So we'll see, obviously, how that goes. But all in all, SacAnime Summer 2023 was an excellent time. I had a lot of fun, and yeah, I had a great weekend. And ladies and gentlemen, that was my Summer of Anime Cons 2023. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, please feel free to like below. I do have some events I'm excited that I'm going to coming up. I do have Friday Night SmackDown that I'll be attending at the end of the month. Like I said earlier in the video about Fan Expo in San Francisco, I do want to hopefully do a vlog style type video for that. So that is if I attend it, of course. So if I do attend it, I do want to do that, but I'm not going to hold my breath on it, to be perfectly honest. So stay tuned for potential videos on, well, SmackDown, I'll probably do a recap video and experience video for that, most definitely. But in terms of Fan Expo, potentially stay tuned for that. And like I said, as well, you know, going in 2024, you know, potentially SacAnime Winter at the beginning of the year, as well as going to SacComic Con as well. So bunch of stuff to be excited for in the future. But like I said, for this video, I hope you guys enjoyed it. One last time, if you guys did, please feel free to like below. And of course, till next time, I'll see you guys then. Thank you guys for watching the video.